Hey, what's up guys, Snooty Minotaur here. Today, it has been a while since I have made a rant video. I think it's been over 6 months, so I think it's about time for me to make another one. And obviously you can tell what I'm going to be talking about today, Fortnitemares. Now, I've got to be honest with you here, I was originally going to be making a review video of Fortnitemares 2023 this year, as, well, it was pretty good. I actually did say I did really like Fortnitemares this year. I actually found that the gameplay was pretty good, loved pretty much all the new cosmetics that we got this year, and I think it was a massive improvement over 2022. However, you can tell from the title of this video, we are going to be talking about the worst thing that actually happened this year with Fortnitemares, and that was the item shops. Because, dear God, where do I need to start with this catastrophe? So for those who don't know, throughout the past few years, Epic has been doing some very odd decisions when it comes to these item shops, to where they usually forget to bring back certain holiday cosmetics for this time. They've done it with other holidays like Easter, they've done it with Christmas, and most notably with Halloween. And this year was no exception. But this one was much worse than the previous years. It's like you thought last year was bad, this year said, hold my beer. So I'm going to be talking about the cosmetics that were forgotten this year, because there was a lot more that got added to this list, which I'll go over the ones that didn't come back through previous years first. And by the way, I won't be mentioning every single cosmetic in this video because there are a lot more cosmetics that actually did not return this year, so I will leave it in the pinned comment for the other cosmetics which I did leave out in this video. So let's start off with the cosmetics that were forgotten from previous years. So the first ones are the Final Reckoning pickaxes, the Ultra Scythe pickaxe and the Blooming Bones pickaxe. Now obviously these two pickaxes are tied to the Final Reckoning set, most notably with the Final Reckoning pack that did release this year, and it has been releasing every single year, but for 2 years straight since 2021 these pickaxes have not re-released. I wouldn't even be upset if these released like once or twice, but it's very odd that these did not re-release. Since we're on the note of this here too, the Ultimate Reckoning pickaxes, the Grim Axes, and the Blooming Doom pickaxes also did not re-release this year. While they're not as popular as the other ones, I will still want to mention them here because it's still very odd that they did not re-release these for like a day or two. Very odd that they did not re-release these. Next up we have is the Fortnitemares 2020 music pack. Now I know there's gonna be them people who are gonna say, oh, this was a limited time cosmetic, it's never coming back, when in reality this is not the case at all. It's obviously more people trying to make up lies about cosmetics, trying to gatekeep them in some way, shape, or form so that they can only have it for themselves. I can tell you straight up, Fortnitemares 2020, the music pack, was not a limited time cosmetic. The only reason why people would say that this is a limited time cosmetic in air quotes is because it has the year 2020 in the title of the music track, which even at that makes no sense because we've seen other cosmetics released from previous years which were randomly stated that they were limited time in other people's minds, but obviously they weren't. Like New Year's wraps came back, and the carnival like confetti wrap I think came back recently, or was it the flower one? I think it was that one. I could be wrong though, but I digress. But it is what it is. I'm pretty upset about it because this was a very good music pack, one of the best Halloween music packs in the game. Not sure why they didn't re-release this. Next is the Back-O-Lantern back bling. This is actually a back bling that actually kind of goes with Raptor, with that Halloween style that he got added like a few years ago. This is a random back bling that was 600 V-Bucks, and it's very odd that this did not re-release, especially from last year, which would have made a lot of sense when Velocity got the same edit style as Raptor did. It would have made sense for them to bring back this back bling, but again, for some odd reason they did not re-release this back bling, which I know there are people who are asking for this back bling, which is just really dumb. Then we have Zombie Shambles. It has now been over 3 years as this video recording that this emote was last seen in the item shop. What the We have no idea as of why this emote is still not coming back to the shop. It's so odd that this has been like a 3-year thing now, and it's gonna go on to 4 years now. You're gonna see what I'm gonna talk about a little later on in this video, to where there's pretty much almost no excuse for them to not re-release this emote because it should have came back years ago, but there is almost no excuse for not bringing back Dante to the item shop. That is right, 3 years in a row, Dante did not return this year again, but I will say this. Thank you, Epic, at the very least for bringing back the rest of the Day of the Dead skins. Thank you at the very least for doing that. But the weirdest thing about this year was that there was no excuse for them to not re-release Dante during this time, because he was actually updated with the background images for Fortnitemares this year. Dante had that background, but for some odd reason did not re-release this year, and we don't know why. Nobody knows why. Like, you released the rest of the set this year, which is awesome, by the way, and Salvador, but you don't bring back Dante? Like, what the hell? I don't want this skin to be rare. I want more people to have this skin. I own him. I don't want this skin to be rare, Epic. Just bring him back. He shouldn't be as rare as he is. Now, those were just the cosmetics that they forgot from previous years. What about this year? What did they forget this year? Well, strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen, because this is going to be a bumpy ride. You all thought that there was no excuse for Dante to re-release. Well, guess what? They did it with another skin this year, which was Hemlock. I have no idea why they didn't re-release Hemlock this year. It's a really good original witch skin. It was also updated with the item shop background image for Fortnitemares this year. I have no idea why they didn't re-release her, but they re-released the pickaxe and her wrap with bog stick, which is just very odd. I don't know if that was a mistake on their end, if Hemlock was originally going to be put in the item shop when bog stick was out in the item shop, but that, even at that, it's very odd. Then there's the Storm King cosmetics. They didn't come back this year. There was a music pack and a really good pickaxe. For some odd reason, they did not re-release this year either, which was also very strange. And also on the topic of here, because I know people are going to ask about this here, the Ghostbusters cosmetics and the Universal Monsters cosmetics also did not return this year, which was also very strange. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the worst part about it here. This is one of the worst parts about this. You all thought that Zombie Shambles was bad enough to forget this year. Well, they decided to do something much worse. They decided to forget emotes. So let's take a moment of silence for the fallen emotes that did not return this year for Fortnitemares. Zombified, Which Way, Treat Yourself, Monster Mash, Pump It Up, and Fright Funk. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Those emotes did not re-release this year. That is 7 emotes, if you want to include Zombie Shambles in here, that did not re-release this year that were from previous years. Are you fucking kidding me, Epic? Whoever's running these item shops throughout that whole month, I don't know what type of stuff you were on to not re-release some of your most iconic emotes from Halloween, like Fright Funk. Why did you not re-release this? So many people have been asking for this. A lot of people were asking for Monster Mash to come back this year, myself included, and it didn't even re-release this year. But you know what the worst part about this year with these emotes? Some of them were actually being advertised on their socials for shorts and TikToks. Literally, there was one that came up this year to last year that was showing off Zombified, Zombie Shambles, and Treat Yourself. It's just like, why are you showing off cosmetics that aren't even going to be released this year? Like, what's the point of that? It makes zero sense, especially when emotes are some of the most popular things in the game, and you forget almost all of them besides 2, which was the Evil Dead emote, if you want to count that one. And the only emote that was original that came back this year was Butter Buddy, arguably the worst emote from Halloween. Out of all the emotes to bring back, Butter Buddy instead of Fright Funk and Zombie Shambles, like that's just absolutely embarrassing. But this last one came up to my attention too, and I couldn't even believe this here. Not only did they forget so many emotes, random cosmetics, and other cosmetics from earlier in previous years, but they even forgot one of the most iconic cosmetics from Fortnitemares, the Reaper pickaxe.
Done.
I'm not making this up. The Reaper pickaxe did not re-release this year. Now, maybe it could release during Fortnite OG in the OG shop. That is possible. But if I'm being honest with you all, I don't think it's going to re-release this year, like whatsoever. That's like them forgetting the candy axe for this year, which I don't want to give them freaking any ideas, because if they did this with this pickaxe, they might do it with candy axe this year. But holy crap, like what was Epic on this year when it came to these items shops? This was a massive L this year for Fortnitemares. Arguably one of the worst years for Fortnitemares item shops ever. And this doesn't even bring up the fact that they were selling skins like Crackshot, a Christmas skin, during Fortnitemares, when that could have been other emotes. And you want to know why they were selling Crackshot in the item shop during this time? It was because he had a skull style that wasn't even added for Halloween. Like, What the hell was this? Like, you know who's happy about this, right? Party Royale. The 9-year-olds are now going to start flexing almost all these cosmetics inside of Party Royale. More or less all the emotes which I just mentioned here, they're going to start calling them extremely rare, and they're going to get upset if they come back next year. What an absolute joke, Epic. You guys absolutely blew it this year with Fortnitemares when it came to the item shop. I'm happy with the event and how it turned out, but this was the worst part about it. And Epic, I am absolutely disappointed in you, and so many people were pissed off at you this year because of these item shops. I don't know what to say anymore. My blood is boiling. I'm gonna call it there. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for today's video. I really hope you all enjoyed it. If you did happen to enjoy this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Don't forget to check out my Twitter, aka my X account. Socials are all on screen. Thank you all so much for watching. I love every single one of you. Remember, everyone, it's always good to take chances.